Well, it was a nice day. It started off with rain, then it got up to 70 degrees. Now the wind is gusting, and oh my God, it's cool out here, but we're going to work through it. Currently trying to remove the gold off of the VW buses with easy off, and it seems to be working. It's not real fast, but what we're working on today, that's not it, is this. This is the original windshield out of my 1974 heavy Chevy Flying Customs, Flying Colors. It was kid painted, as you can see. I want to get that off, and I want to see what's underneath, because I have another heavy Chevy that I'm going to be doing soon, and I want to know if I need to order a new windshield or if this one can be saved. So I have me a glass jar with a fresh batch of Super Clean in it. So we're going to submerge this in the Super Clean and give it, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. Come back, check it, brush it if we have to, and then resubmerge it if we have to. But I'm just going to take that in the forceps and just lightly clamp it, because this is old plastic. We don't want to break it. And I'm just going to drop it down in there. Nothing scientific about it. I'm just going to put it in there and let it dangle. Put the lid just on it like that, and we will come back in 10 or 15 minutes to see what's going on. Let's see how this is coming along. It's been about 10 minutes. Agitate it just a little bit before we take it out. Oh yes, it's removing most of it nicely. Let me take a brush and agitate it just a hair. Oh yeah, look at that, it's just peeling right off. Oh yeah, it's nice. I'll put it back in there for a couple more minutes, and we'll take this bad boy inside and see what we have. See how the back does. Oh yeah, look at that, right off. One layer on there that's not wanting to come off too good. But look at how much better that looks compared to when we started. We'll put it back in here and see if we can get the rest of that black off and that orange. And we might have us a winner, especially after we polish it. 1974 heavy Chevy, yep. The 69 body style uses the same windshield. If you buy a replacement windshield, you're going to get the same one that came in all the different generations of the heavy Chevy. But this is what it looks like after the Super Clean. She's not perfect. She has some discoloring going on. Right, kind of some fogging and stuff. I don't know if I can save this or not. The inside of it looks like new, so I'm really not going to touch the inside. But up next, I still got some of the gray paint on the outside of the back, and then the front, like I said, has the discoloring. So what we're going to do is wet sand it. I'll start off with like 1,000, and I'll go up to 2,000 and probably 3,000. Then we'll dip this in the floor shine and see if it's going to work. If it'll work, then we don't need to buy a new one. If it's not going to work, then we'll need to buy a new one for our next restoration. So we'll see. Got me some warm water. Now you can put some Dawn dishwashing liquid in it. Not necessary, but you can. Paper towel, so if I drip anything. I'm going to start off with 1,000 grit, as you can see right there. And then I have the sanding sponges that go all the way up to, I think 12.5, something like that. Let's see, I think I've got 1 or 2 in the drawer still. There's 36. Forget what that is. There's 8. There's 12. I need to find the other one, because the other one's the one I need. And here's the windshield. If you're just now tuning in, this had silver paint on it with black paint on top of it. We put it in the Super Clean and got 90% of it off. But as you can see, it's still not perfect. It's kind of glazy. I don't know if that's something on the plastic or if it's where the chemical itself. It's actually something on the plastic. So we're going to sand that off and hopefully get those 2 spots off. And if it looks good, which I'm sure it will, then we will dip it in the floor shine. But I'm not going to do anything to the inside. The inside looks really good, at least right now it does. I can turn it and see it with the glare of the light, and it looks really good, no defects, nothing on it. So we're just going to do the outside. Like I said, we're going to start with 1000, wet sand it, and then I've got a 3200. I'm going to hit it with that because that's all I have. Plus, I won't need to go any higher than 3200, I am sure. But all you got to do is just keep everything lubricated. Get your sandpaper nice and wet. And as you can see, when I wet this, it actually cleans it up a lot. And that's how it'll look once we put the floor shine on it. But you want to sand it in the same direction. You don't want to go in circles or anything like that. And it's going to make it look flat looking once you do it and you dry it off. But that's the whole point of going down to the smaller size. Like I said, I'm going to hit it with the 3200 because I don't have anything in between. I'm just going to hit it with 1000. Really, 1000 probably be good enough. But I'm just going to keep going down. But we're going to hit it with 1000. Keep it nice and wet. And you can see how much better that looks already. Look at that. Yes, sir. But I'm just trying to sand off all that glaze that was on it. Make sure I knock off any residual paint that was left on it. Dunk it in there and then we can look at it. See if we think we got it all off. And it looks pretty good. I'm going to work on it for just a second longer. And it doesn't take long to do this. You're not looking to rush this anyway because this is vintage. Number one, you don't want to put too much pressure on it and break it. You don't want to get it hot. That's one of the reasons for the water. And the water also adds lubricity to the sandpaper, which makes it glide better and not quite cause as much damage. If you're going to do something like this, just do it while you're watching TV or something like that. Watching a movie, watching a YouTube video, whatever you want to do. Just sit back, do this, enjoy doing it. Use it as a stress reliever because you'd be amazed at how much stress and stuff that this will relieve. But that's the front. And it is looking wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Let's dry it off just to see how it looks. It won't hurt anything to let the sandpaper stay in there. I'm expecting once I get this water off of it for it to go kind of a flat look. And that's actually what we want. Yep, as you can see, it's now flat. And I can see a little mark right across there that I want to try to get out. You can see it as I rotate it. Not necessary that I get it out, but I want to try to get it out. Like I said, we're just going to keep it nice and wet. Do the full length of the glass at one time. We're not trying to work on one section because then it'll cause it to look ununiform and it'll make it look not flat when you put the floor glaze on it. Let's see how that looks now. Oh yeah, that got that mark out of it, as you can see. So now I'm going to work on the back. See if we can get this extra paint off. Just a couple little dabs. We're going to try to get that off and get it to look just like the front. Once we're satisfied with that, then we can move on to the 3200 and then we'll dip it in the floor shine. And this is going to take a little bit more work because as you can see, there's still paint along there and along there and along the edges. You can see how dark it is. So I'm going to work on this. This is exactly what I'm going to do. There's no need you sitting here and watch me do this for 10-15 minutes because that might be how long it takes with this just being 1000 grit. So we'll be right back. All right. Welcome back. It's only been probably 3 minutes. I'll rub it a couple times like this, and then I'll stop and look at it and rub it, wet the paper again, and look at it again. Like I said, I'm just applying light pressure. I'm not pushing down hard at all. And let's see what we have. Yes, sir, that looks great. Trying to get all the water off of it so you can see it really good. That looks really, really good. All the paint is gone off of it. I'm going to sand right there just a little bit more because you can see that shiny spot. I don't know what that is, but that's exactly where the paint was. And there's another one right there where the paint was. So I'm going to sand it for just a minute longer. See if I can get rid of that. And I'm not going to sweat it if I don't, because the floor shine will cover that up. I hope. We'll find out when we get there. I've never tried it before. So I mean, I've tried it on glass before. I know it works and it does a really good job, but I don't know what that spot is. So I'm assuming that the floor shine will cover it up. Sand it down a little bit more and dry it off, and we'll see what we got. Yep, it got rid of that shiny spot. Still got the one on that side. Let me work on that one for just a minute more. Flip it around so I can focus on that side. I'm still doing the full length, but I'm trying to focus my efforts in one spot. Now about now you're probably asking, well, why not just go ahead and spend $10 and get a new windshield? Well, to be honest with you, you could say it's self-serving. Because if I can save this windshield and get it to look good without buying a new one, that means I have accomplished something. I took something that was messed up and made it look good again. Yeah, see, that shiny spot's gone. Now just for me, I'm going to knock this edge down right here because it's got a little bit of silver paint on it. And you won't have to watch me do that. Next step you'll see is us moving on to the 3200. Rinse it off. But like I said, it's self-serving. It's a job that I know that I did, and I was able to save an original piece of the car. Because I've got to, even though I bought, getting tongue-tied here. I bought a new one for the first heavy Chevy I did, the yellow Flying Colors one. The Target exclusive one I did, 1974. I did that because at the time I didn't know that you could save these windshields, number one. And number two, I just wanted everything to look new on that car. Well, now that I know how to do this, if the windshield is not busted and it's not cracked, I can take this and move to the next one. Take that one, move on to the next one. Until I run across one to where I don't need, like if I run out of the cars, or if I run across one that is completely busted and I can't save it. But this has the exact shape and everything of the car that it needs to be. Rather than getting one and it might be a little flat, you have to try to heat it up and bend it and let it cool down and all that stuff. This is the exact what I need. So it's self-serving, but also has a purpose. Oh man, look at me making a mess. Now this is the same thing. We're just going to dump the 3200 in there and let it get wet for just a second. And same thing, full length of the windshield. And just sand away for a few minutes. Like I said, you can do this while you watch TV, video, listen to a record, a CD, the radio, whatever your joy is. Very relaxing, and it doesn't take any effort. Just sitting here doing this. And if you want to know what it's going to look like when you put the floor shine on it, right? Let me dry it off and I'll show you. If you want to know if you're doing a good job and it's going to be worth the effort, that's what it looks like after you sand it, okay? The floor shine makes it look wet. So if it's going to look wet with the floor shine on, that's how it's going to look when we're done. When we put that floor shine on and look at that gloss. Look how good that looks. That's exactly how it will look with the floor shine on. So I'm going to sit here and hit this for just a minute and then we'll come back. Let me dry this off and we'll see if there's a difference, because I've been sanding on the back. We'll see if there's a difference between the front and the back. Dry it off. My paper towel's getting wet. Shouldn't be able to tell a difference. No, really can't. I can, but you can't in the camera because I'm looking at the screen. But the scratches on this from me sanding are a whole lot smaller than the ones on this side. I can just tell the difference. It's slicker looking. It's more polished looking as I rotate it with the light on the glass. So I can tell the difference here. I don't think you can there. But trust me, that's what we want. So I'm going to do the back now. Get it to look like the front. And next step you'll see is this getting dunked in the pledge floor shine. But one thing I wanted to tell you while I've got you here right now, you can actually do this in car. Like if you've got a car and you don't have the tools to take it apart, or if you've got a small scratch on it and you want to make it look like new, you can tape the body of the car off, get in there with a piece of sandpaper and be real small and gentle and just work it back and forth. And then once you're done, wipe it off, right? Make sure it's nice and clean. Take a paintbrush and get the floor shine, and the floor shine is self-leveling, so you can just paint it on. I actually did a video in my how-to section where I did the 2 school buses like that. I painted it on, it self-leveled, and it made the glass look like almost like new. But I didn't do any sanding. If I'd have done sanding, it would have looked like new. So next time you see this, we'll be dipping it in the floor shine. To do this, it couldn't be simpler. I have the floor shine, the Pledge Revive. I have this little tray with a piece of paper towel in it to set the windshield on after dipping it, and I have a cover for it. Now you don't have to have this. This is just a I can't remember if it's a lemon or onion cover, but regardless, you can put it on here and twist it, and it locks it in, and it has a vent hole in the top to allow any gases out. But it's very, very simple. No secret to it. And I also have an extra piece of tissue to dab off any excess. But all you're going to do is you're just going to take it, I'm trying to get my hand around here without having it in the camera. Just dip it in all the way, pull it out. Look how good that joker looks already. And that's how it'll look when it dries. Kind of knock off the extra, take a look at it, make sure it's coated, and you can dunk it again if you so choose. If you look right there, you can see how all the excess is running down to the bottom corner, and that's exactly what we want. And that's what the extra tissue is for. You just take it and wick that off until that bubble is gone. Take it and put it on our piece of paper towel. Cover it up, and it's that simple. Now we just let it dry overnight, and then I'll show you the finished product. It has been 24 hours, so let's see what this thing looks like. Shall we? Have not peeked, have no idea. I hope it turned out good. We're fixing to find out. And the reason you want to cover it, I didn't tell you when I put it in, is that floor shine is one of the stickiest substances known to man. So any dust particle will stick to it. And what it will look like is a pimple. A dust particle will stick, and that soaks up all the surrounding liquid and actually creates like what looks like a dry moat, like around a castle, right around the dust particle, and it just looks horrible. So let's see, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh yes, sir. Look at that bad boy right there, would you now? Holy cow. That looks so good. Trying to get focus for you, I'm sorry. Look at that. Oh man, yes. Look at the front. I mean, thinking about what we started with to what we now have, I mean, you can see through that just like brand new. I mean, look at that. Nice and clear. It's not hazy. It's not foggy. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. And then I drop it. But that's okay because it's protected. And just so you have an idea, that's what one looks like in the car, if it'll focus. There we go. Thank you. And this is the one that actually came out of this car. Look at that, would you? Oh my goodness. So, I've gotten a lot of questions about sanding windshields and stuff. Because I actually made a video about it here a while back. But I never really showed a finished product on how good it can look. And as you can see, it can look absolutely like brand new. I am so pleased with this. I'm going to put it back in the pack. 74 heavy Chevy, but it will fit in any of them. It'll fit in the spoiler series. It'll fit in the old red lines, like from 70. They're all pretty much the same as far as the heavy Chevys. The only thing they changed is, what was it, in the late 80s, I think it was. They retooled it to where nothing fits from the old to the new, but that's okay. This will fit in any of the old ones, and like I said, I could take this one. Hold on a second, I'll show you. Let me grab the other one. I bought one when I knew that I was going to do this car. That's the one that is in the car now, the one that I purchased. It fit great. I got it from Second Chance Redlines. It fit great. And I kept the old one. You know, us customizers, we never really throw away anything. Because I wanted to see if I could restore this. I mean, if I can restore a car, why can't I restore this? The windshield. So now, I have this. My wonderful wife got it for me, right? Front has some kids paint on it. Well, I know I can fix that, right? But, look at the back. Nice crack right in it, right there. Nice crack. So, you know where this is going to go. So now, rather than paying to get the windshield, I can pay to get something that I need, like these stripes that goes on it. Because when I restore this one, I will restore it back to the way it came. Because these cars, typically when they came from Mattel, they came with the stripes already on it. So when you see one out there in the wild and it doesn't have the stripes, I mean, 9 times out of 10, that jerk has been restored. And they decided not to put the stripes back on it, which that's fine. That's personal choice. I mean, all it is a sticker anyway that Mattel puts on there. If I peel this up real easy, you'll be able to see it. I'll just pull up a corner real gently. It's on clear paper. See? But yeah, it came with white. And then sometimes they would put the numbers on the side and sometimes they wouldn't. They'd leave it up to you if you want to put the numbers. But most of the time they came with the stripes on them already. So, like I was saying before, I can bought the one for this to get the ball started. Restore it. Put it in another one. Take the one out of the next one. Restore it. Restore, restore, restore. Until we run across one that can't be restored. There's no saving this one. This one I will keep, but there's no saving it. There's no restoring it. But I will, just because I'll do it. That way I can have one in case I get one that is really messed up. I just want to stick it in there. But I get asked all the time about the windshields. So I thought I'd do this video. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so very much for watching. Hope it was a little bit helpful anyway. You too can do this. It's super simple. Super simple. At the very least, sandpaper from Home Depot or Lowe's, 1,000 grit, 2,000 grit, whichever one you want to try to use, depending on how bad your windshield is, and some floor shot. And you too can do this. Till next video, thanks for watching.